Hey, hey, Torontonians and other. Um, Hello. Okay, so boy, all right. Sorry, this is quiet, but um, so I've done. I guess I'm in the middle of like my second week of being an UberEats cyclist here in beautiful Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I like the other videos about this are so shitty that if I had just been watching them, I would have avoided doing this altogether. And this happens with YouTube where, like, I'll notice, like, okay, there's no videos on this one topic. I make a video on that topic. Nobody sees it. Nobody searches for it. Nobody finds it. And I'm like, okay, now I see why I couldn't find any videos on this topic. All the good videos on this topic are buried somewhere in search results that nobody sees. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe there's a bunch of good YouTube videos and this is just a waste of time, but I'm going to go through like sort of the myths that you might have heard if you've been watching YouTube videos about doing this, because some pretty thick myths. Number one, and this is coming from somebody that I kind of admire and respect, somebody who was part of what convinced me to try Uber Eats in the first place, and that is Julia Pack, and she's an Uber Eats cyclist. And I don't know, why her situation is different. I think maybe when she recorded this video where she says this, it was maybe a while ago or something like that. The service wasn't as popular, maybe, but she was saying that the standby time that you get is really a lot. That you end up hanging out with nothing to do a lot of the time. And like, I got to say right off the bat that's not been my experience at all. The first time I turned on the Uber Eats app, it was at Kiel and St. Clair. All right, not in the hot spot at all. And I had a ping, which is a request for, an offer basically for a delivery, for a pickup, within a minute. I didn't even wait a fucking minute, and that thing was ringing on me. So soon as I'd finished that delivery, I got another one. Soon as I finished that delivery, I got another one. Soon as I finished that, I had to go offline to take a break for breakfast. I went back online. Boom, I got more right away. Most of the time, I actually get requests while I'm in the middle of one, which is like they don't stack up a whole shitload of them on you, but they will make you an offer while you are on a current delivery. And it's kind of like, unless there's going to be some crazy foreseeable delay in your current delivery, like crazy, like 50 and 20 minutes, there's no reason not to accept it, unless you just don't want to do the thing. The other thing is nobody tips, and like very few people do tip you, but I've actually, I think I've made maybe $350, $400 or something like that, and I've been tipped about $10. So yeah, not a lot, but you do get tips, so be prepared for that. And people actually just hand you money. That's how they give you tips. And I'm amazed, like some people will tip you like $5 for, like their food costs $5, the delivery costs $5, and they're tipping me $5 on top of all that. I find that to be pretty cool. The other myth about it is that, and this is again coming from Julia Pack. I don't know where she's getting this, but I think again maybe just it was less busy back in the day, and that is you're not the myth is you're not going to be making $16 an hour plus unless you are in a super busy area. Or unless you are serving a super busy time of day. And it definitely, like, yeah, okay, if it's busy and you're in a busy area, then maybe you're making $18, $20 an hour. If it's not, maybe you're making 14, 16 bucks an hour, something like that. But my overall average is 16 bucks an hour. And that's pretty good. Like that's $2 an hour above the minimum wage. That's about what the average web designer makes. That's what I have to compare it to because that's what I used to do. And I mean, hourly after everything. The average web designer charges 60 bucks per billable hour and then makes, 16. But I have not found it to be lower than that. I'm seeing videos of people who are making like $5 an hour, and I don't know how the fuck you're managing that. Because that's crazy. I just watched this video where this guy's like, yeah, I made 22 bucks, over the last week. It's been 4 hours. I'm like, how the fuck, man? How the fuck do you do that? The other thing is, it's not going to be worth it unless you live downtown or something like that, or unless you live in the core, you're not going to be able to work in your own neighborhood. That's bullshit. I've been able to. I'm out in Syme, so that's kind of halfway between the very downtown core and the airport, and so that's like a 40-minute bike ride from the downtown. And sometimes I'll bike downtown and then I'll go online. Sometimes I'll just go online in this hood and see what happens. And even in this hood, whether there's a promotion on or not, whether it's busy or not, I get one delivery after another, after another, after another. And then that brings me to my other myth, which is like, the app wants to send me on these far-flung expeditions and stuff, and it's just not worth it. It is worth it. Like these big. I got this one trip the other day that I was kind of unsure about. I was just like, I don't know if this one's going to be worth it because it's so long. But UberEats pays you 18 cents per kilometer and 18 cents per minute of cycling. And when the trip is really long and crazy, people tend to also tip you. So I think like maybe half of or 2/3 of the like long crazy trips that I've had, I've gotten like a $3 or $5 tip or something. So it becomes more worth it. But with this one trip I got, I was like, fuck, all right, this is really onerous. This is serious. And then at the end of it, it was like, you just made $10 for that trip. And I'm like, okay, well, that was $10. That was 20 minutes. Fuck, And then the thing is, by the time I was out there, see, you got to worry about the time getting back and like your downtime. And like whether or not you want to stay where you are during your downtime and wait for your next ping, or go somewhere and just burn calories for nothing, just on the idea that if you get there, it'll be richer, the grass will be greener. In this case, like by the time I was done, I had another offer. So by the time I never went off my 18 cents per kilometer and 18 cents per minute clock, because by the time that delivery was completed, I was my commute to the next restaurant was part of the next delivery, which is the cool thing. Like if you finish a delivery and you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere and you're like, fuck, man, what am I going to do here? Unless you're in a complete dead zone and you're just not getting anything, my advice is stay where you are and wait for the next ping, because then you're going to get paid to bike to wherever you go. If you go offline and try to get to a better area, then that can be worth it maybe. But if you're just kind of defaulting to being like, oh, okay, well, I'll probably get another ping from this other place over here, and so you're just biking over there while you're waiting for trips, then you're biking on your own time when you could be taking a break. Like that's when you want to take a break, because seriously, unless you go offline, you're not going to get a fucking moment's peace in this town. because Torontonians love food. They hate cycling. Oh my god! But no. There's gold in them hills. So like, become an UberEats courier because it's great. You don't have to go hard. You don't have to like bike like a maniac. You don't have to like break any traffic laws, do anything crazy. You can take it easy and do your thing and take breaks on the way, and it's fine. It's really good. So I encourage like basically any cyclist to go after this. And I'd say my only like 2 complaints are, you have to say yes before you know where the customer is. And I sort of like this and I sort of don't. It's like, you get to know where the restaurant is, but then you don't even get to know which direction you have to take the thing in afterwards. I would kind of like it if you could tell the app, look, I want to end up here at some point, you know, where if you could just tell the app, like, don't give me anything that's going to have me moving east, or don't give me anything that's going to have me moving west, or whatever. Like, at the end of moving up to the end of the day, it'd be kind of nice if you could, if it would chain you up to go in a certain direction that you want to go. And this isn't always possible, but like, the fucking work is so serious. There's so many people that I think it could work if they added this feature that says, like, if you want to kind of end up in this area within an hour or something, then we will give you trips that are taking you in that direction. The other thing is the app. The map in the app is crap. It's missing a whole bunch of street names. It's just like, hey, here's a road map that doesn't show you the names of the road that you have to use. So if you are not super good with directions and stuff like that, or if you don't know the routes and stuff by heart, I do. I know my way around Toronto, like I'm in, my cousin's Patties. I know my way around that shit really well. But if you don't, then they have a feature that I'd suggest you use, which is you set up Google Maps as your directions and navigation app. And then it sort of switches you into Google Maps and then switches you back when you reach your destination. And it's pretty graceful and stuff. It's not really super smooth, which is why I don't use it. But like I said, I also don't need it. The UberEats app itself is very confused as to how you get from one place to another. But that's good. That's actually good. Because like me using the app for navigation, what that means is the app thinks I'm going to take forever to get everywhere. And so I'm always early. It's awesome. I've got all this extra time. I'm like, it thinks it's going to take 6 minutes to get to the market. This is great. I've got 6 minutes to get to the market. Ah! So it's perfect. It just makes things really easy. I don't know if it's different if you're using Google Maps to do it. I don't know if it switches to the Google Maps estimation of how long it's going to take, but I think it probably would. So like, a lot of my advantage just comes from the fact that the UberEats map is crap, and they don't know what routes to mark you as. So it's pretty good. I gotta say, guys, go with UberEats. It's great. It's great. Not getting tipped. Who fucking cares when you're making $18 an hour? Who fucking cares if you're getting tips?